Well, good morning, everybody. This is my introductory podcast video. I have no idea where this is going, but I do know that it's necessary to make, because out here in the wilderness with me and my lovely Akua, there's a great big elephant at me and the trees and the rocks and the birds and all manner of life out here are talking about. You see, good afternoon, peace and blessings to you on this beautiful day here in North Las Vegas. So since you're going to join me on a walk, we might as well talk about something. And that something's going to be heaven. The question I have to you is, do you really want to go? As a child and while growing up, every time someone died, I would hear everyone say, "Oh, don't worry, be happy, they're going to heaven." Is that how you go to heaven when you die? In the Bible, it was the book of John, chapter 16. You'll have to look it up yourself. But he states that Jesus said that no one goes to the Father but through him, through Jesus. For many years I believed that, and then later through research I came across this guy named Buddha. Buddha was born 500 years before Jesus, and Buddha did something that the Bible says can't be done. Buddha ascended to heaven 500 years before Jesus. Upon more research I came upon a guy named Krishna. And he too ascended to heaven. So now I have conflicts in my religious studies. So in going further, in reading the Bible, I came across a passage where it said that Jesus and his family fled to Egypt to hide from the oppressive Roman regiment that was after him. So when I stop and I think about that, back in those days, Egypt was a land of very dark-skinned people. It's not what we know of it today. Very dark-skinned people. Therefore, it concludes with just a little thought. Why would a white man go to a black country to hide? So, again, a little thought. There was a great writer named Earl Nightingale, and he had a statement that was very profound to me, and it was small and simple. He said that men simply don't think. Wow. How much thought does it take to see what's going on? Even Einstein talked about men, and he said that something to the effect that education teaches you facts. He said, but you need to train the mind to think. There are some things that are right in front of us. Why don't we see them? Why is it so hard to accept the facts? The Bible stated something to the effect of My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Wow. Whoever the people is, doesn't matter. The fact is that people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. So with that said, I believe, and this is me, I believe that there are other windows to ascension. And one of them is upon us right now. So just hear the video out, and I'm getting ready to go into a tunnel. Hear the video out and see if it resonates with you, if it makes sense. You don't have. All my life, growing up, rather all throughout my life, when someone passes away, we as a society would always say, oh, they've died and gone to heaven. But I don't know how much thought we actually put towards what we were saying. So after years of researching it, I found that going to heaven is a term for ascension. And ascension, another term more popular or more meaningful, is soul graduation. I'm going to do my best to explain this to you as I know it, as I've learned it. And I hope it helps you to make a decision as to whether you want to be a part of it or not. A lot of things that I'm going to say here in this video, you're not going to agree with. Some of you are going to dislike it, and it's going to bring others of you to tears, and the last group to anger. But whatever your emotions are, all I ask is that you listen to it. And if it is something that you may be interested in, going to this place we call heaven, then take some time and look into it. I mean, really look into it. So with that said, going to heaven in its most simplest form is going from a third dimension where we are now to the next dimension, which will be the fourth. Let me take a moment and explain that. Now guys and gals, the video clip you're going to see next is of a modern day channeler, and we equate them with the shaman of the days of old that we have all heard about. They're just like the shaman that you see on the movie Black Panther, the gentleman named Yuri, and the lady in the Avatar movie of the Na'vi tribe. So sit back and enjoy.
Greetings, I am Metatron, Magnetic Forces and Magnetic Services, and I greet you today in the love of the Divine Love Element. Today is the start of an important month in your calendar terms of time. That signifies the coming of the final push for thought's dark elements and rising of the divine love element in your planet. Thought has trapped many of the energies that try to trap many of your souls on your planet in the fists of darkness and preventing them to achieve eternal light and merging with the divine love element. The universal love child has been able to create more light in the planet, thereby many of the star souls will be able to free themselves from the grasp of the darkness of thought. Despite all the events that took place on your planet during the past month, whether it be good or bad, all were lessons and pathway into the coming divine love element, of which many of your souls are going to be a part of as you are reaching this point of separation that will occur in April 11, 2021, between the darker energies of thought and the light universes of the divine love element. You will see more and more souls on your planet becoming separated into two parts, the dark soul groups that need to learn lessons of unity and love, and the divine love element souls that have already learned the lessons of the divine love and unity. This separation will begin to arise from the month of April, which starts from tomorrow. This month is also an important month for all the so-called light grid programmers and the people of light, because it was an important day in which one master divine light grid programmer, a wandering soul of divine light, came to earth to teach the lessons of divine light. And he had to go through a troubling period at that time due to the darkness of thought's darker universes, which had influence on many souls at that time period. This Master Divine Light, great programmer, is known to your kinds as Jesus of Nazareth, who taught many lessons that your kind needs to learn now at this present time space of the divine light element. Thought's dark elemental entities are being shrouded in mental fear of being annihilated completely at these critical times. And the stimulation of your lower energy vortices allows those who wish to control you a more or less guaranteed and predictable behavior that can be directed according to their specific intention in their last desperate push to hold on to control. The power that has ruled for so long has stimulated society across the world to new levels of hatred and rage. Race, gender, religion, age, money, all of these are the tools used to turn human beings against each other at this time. Thought's dark elemental entities have learned how to use these tools in order to spread their agendas. This is indeed the hour of your liberation, and the rulers of the old ways know, but they don't even know how to let go. There is no record of true social freedom in your collective consciousness. There is only the illusion of it. And you are rewriting that paradigm with the divine love element in your soul, climbing higher in the divine light consciousness. This new month will lead to the coming of more divine love light energies, also known to many of your kinds as the coming of Christ. The divine energies of Christ will come not in any physical vehicle, but to touch each who vibrate at that high frequency of divine love and light. The same Master Divine Light Great Programmer, Christ Consciousness, that once inhabited the physical entity that had come to your planet known as Jeshua, will embody each and surround each with the loving energies of divine love and light elements. The Christ energy stems from a collective beyond the world of duality and arises from the so-called sixth density consciousness known by this instrument. Who is new to me? This means that it recognizes the opposites of divine love element and thought's dark web. Divine light and dark, giving and taking as the aspects of one and the same energy. Living from the reality of Master Light Great Programmer, Christ Consciousness means that there is no struggle with anything. There is a complete acceptance of reality that surrounds you. Do not lose your faith in humanity. The antiquated model of civilization in perpetual struggle will soon be replaced with a new fraternity. To many of your kinds, it may appear that the end of a period is upon your kind, and you would be correct. That is the end of the cycle of transformation of thought's dark elementals, or the dark energies will be taken away from this planet soon as this planet fully enters into the next density consciousness as known by this instrument as fourth density consciousness. Those who belong to the old third density consciousness will feel more struggle and fear and pressure in this new age of the coming of the fourth density consciousness of love and light, which will cause them to be taken away to another planet that resemble the third density consciousness. You will be a witness to humanity's reach beyond its limitations, dispelling your fears and despair, and guiding you to step courageously past the borders and walls of your mental, emotional, and physical containment. Then soon after you will take the cosmic ride through your sun's astral cord into the next dimension. To say that you have so much to look forward to is an understatement of unparalleled proportions. The new is breaking right now on the horizon, and to some it looks frightening, chaotic, and irresolute, while others can see the light of brilliant days ahead. This is all the information this instrument can handle at this time-space period. Hence I, Metatron, leave you now in the divine love element of the divine great programmer, and hoping you will turn to the great mountain of light, Kairon. Bye.
Let's talk about how the world is going to go from a 3D environment to a 4D environment. Currently, the world is in 3D. And what she's going to do is she's going to go through a metamorphosis into 4D. She's going to go through a metamorphosis into 4D positive and 4D negative. Two distinct worlds is the end result. While she's going through this metamorphosis, there's going to reach a point to where this center is going to disappear. In the center are all those people who have not chosen to be a part of the new 4D positive world or a part of the new 4D negative world. These undecided people will be teleported somewhere to a new 3D planet that looks just like where they are now. It'll be business as usual. More on this later. Now let's talk about a couple things that will raise or lower your vibration. A lower vibration is usually always due to limited thinking. A material mindset is limited thinking. Your ego, limited thinking. Television, separation, thoughts, the belief in separation. Violence, meddling in the affairs of others. Gossiping. Materialism, militarism. How's that? You focus on the body. You focus on judgment. You believe in sin, retribution, truth. Truth? Okay, that's not right. Truth isn't right. That wouldn't be appropriate to say. Sickness. And the biggest one, fear. All that's wrapped up in limited thinking. You have to remind yourself of who you are, who you really are. We'll get to that a little later. to raise your vibration is a limitless mindset. Ideas of creativity, being in nature, self-expression, positive physical communication with others. The biggest things, and I think most of us have issues with this, forgiveness, huge. And also allowance. Allowance is actually the opposite of love. Excuse me. Allowance is the same as love. Simply put, lower vibrations feel bad and higher vibrations feel good. That's your indicator. That's how you know right away. Remember that all you need to do is find a way to feel better by means of what you focus on. Without the use of drugs, alcohol, television, computers, cell phones, you know what I mean. You should consider investing in yourself so that you can magnify your rewards here on this earth plane. I know this is the opposite from what the Bible teaches you, but I guess that's why there's over 150 versions of the Bible. Unbelievable. By now it should have become very obvious to you that the biblical stories that you prescribe to all of your life, or most of you, have intentionally been edited, distorted, manipulated. Again, think and contemplate about these things. Your purpose, your obligation to yourself upon this earth's plane of demonstration is to live your life to the fullest with the greatest awareness of love, self-expression that you can. I think it's most important that you know that the increase of your vibration must come from your consciousness, not just by you going out and displaying it by helping a nice elderly woman across the street, or giving a child a lollipop. It must come from the heart. Coming from something outside of you does not work. The shifting of your vibration requires you to think about something. Yeah, that's enough for now. When something else comes up, I'll be back. Well, people, I know this information is a bit hard to swallow. I mean, you spent your whole lives believing a story, and all of a sudden, someone like me comes along and throws a big stone in it. It's hard to swallow. Nonetheless, if you take some time in your prayer and meditation, ask for the truth, it will come to you. You can research these things that I'm talking about, but sadly, some of them have vanished from the internet, almost like we live in China. Actually, it may be worse in China. Nonetheless, it's up to each of you to take advantage of this soul graduation that is going to happen within the next few weeks, from what it appears. Anything can change in this world, as the timeline has changed many a times. I'm going way off target here, so I don't think we should talk about this. I'm sure most of you are scared enough. So you can join me on a Zoom session that I'm going to have Friday. That Zoom session will be dedicated just to answer questions. That's it. So from this video, from your homework, from now until this Friday, develop your questions and have them ready for the Zoom session. It will last 1 hour. If there's a lot, I may bump it into a second session, but right now it is slated for just 1 hour. So I hope to see you there. I hope that this information resonates with you at least enough to look into it, because in this lifetime you will not have another opportunity. And the other ways to ascend is not going to be this easy for another 26,000 years. We'll talk soon. Love you. All right, let's see if we can put a cap on this video. My apologies, it's not the way I wanted it, but we're pressed for time. A lot of things going on and I have to get it done, and today of all days is probably the best day to do it. I'll tell you why in a minute, but I had a question already from one of the testers that was what happens if you miss the ascension, the rapture, the soul graduation. In short, we'll go over it more during the Zoom meeting, but in short, you just get more of the same, more of what you see now, except it'll be on steroids when the ascension period is over. So if you can imagine, just in time, possibly the worst of the worst. You never know, but possibly. So look at places like Syria and those places over there, Venezuela, and that should give you a real good idea as to what's possibly coming to the U.S. Don't think of this as the end of the world. There's always going to be a pathway to ascension. Right now, what's going on is just the simple way out, so to speak, the easy way out. Here all you have to do is vibe up, raise your vibration as high as possible. You have to be 51% or greater for genuine eternal vibration in order to get into the soul graduation period. The reason I said this is a good time to finish, or I wanted to finish, is because back in the early 80s when I started on this path, I came across ancient documents. It basically said that today, April 1st, is the birthday of, guess who? Yeshua ben Joseph. Yes, the one you know as Jesus. His name is actually Yeshua. And you guys, again, another thinking period. If you go overseas, you go to Israel, they don't call him Jesus, they call him what? Yeshua. You go South America, other places around the world, and guess what they call him? Yeshua, okay? That's a clue for you, all right? Look into that, all right? As a matter of fact, down Santiago, all these other places, all over the world, they have a statue in their churches of a black Jesus hanging. We have a white one here. They have a black one there, all right? Who's right, who's wrong? Doesn't really matter. All of this is up to you. What matters most right now is the ascension. And you have to remember, we're asking, but it's not much. Why not do this, Stop and think about it. All you have to do is what you've been complaining about basically all your life. Oh, that person's not nice. Oh, that person's an a-hole. That person wasn't nice. It's not nice over there. They treat me bad here. The country's bad. The list goes on and on. All you have to do is vibe up, be nice for a couple weeks, should this thing happen, as it's been predicted from not just a lot of our spiritual beings right now, but from ancient civilizations that you were not told about. This day was predicted. They haven't told you the truth about the Mayan calendar. But if they do, you will realize that this day is predicted. Okay? So you have some homework to do. I'm going to put the email address down if you want to attend the Zoom session. The email address should be down there somewhere, okay? Just send an email and we'll send over the address to the Zoom, the passcode, all that other stuff. So pretty simple, okay? This whole video, a lot of what you're saying is just all esoteric knowledge. It's just stuff that's been hidden from you. In other civilizations that have disappeared, it was readily available. They told their people, you know, we just don't live in those times. So, you know, there's no hate going on here, but, you know, this is all up to you. The ball is in your court. If you want to go to heaven, this is it. I'm telling you, but figure it out on your own. Love you all. Thanks for coming. Namaste. All right. And we'll see you soon.